Hello, and welcome to this episode of The Theory of Why. On today's show, we're going to talk about events. Now, events are slowly making a comeback at the end of the pandemic, if you will. But more importantly, I want to talk about micro events as we move into the second half of 2021 and into 2022. Now, before the pandemic, if you think back to the beginning stages of 2020 or 2019, 2018 before, you might have had events as one of your larger fundraisers. It might have been the main way that you connected with your audience, the best way to get new leads, your trade shows, all of these things. Now, it is going to be slow to return at first, but if you want to kind of use a different concept or idea while still utilizing events, the way to go is micro events. Now, micro events are 15, 20, 25, maybe 50 people in a very specific target audience that you can capture and captivate for maybe it's only an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, nothing major. It's not a gala. It's not a golf outing. It's not the bowling or the trivia night. It's a coffee. It might even be on Zoom, right? It depends on where you're at. But the emphasis of this micro event is that you're capturing 25 to 50 qualified individuals who are interested in your topic, right? So if you're selling a product, if you're selling a service, or if you're a nonprofit, you could find 25 people within the target audience that you're looking for and say, okay, what do we need, right? Is it $5 to DoorDash? Is it buying the coffee? Is it buying dinner for 10, 15 people? Maybe it's just coffee with a group of 8 people, right? But whatever it is, you can segment this out and do it monthly. And it's not something that needs to cost a ton. It's not something that even needs to take a ton of your time. You don't need custom landing pages. You don't need a ton of emails. You could pick up the phone right now and reach out to 10 individuals and say, hey, if I started a coffee group every other Thursday, would you come to talk about how our mission could maybe fulfill things in the community, how we could help these individuals? You're going to be able to find that group of 10. And then what I like to do is actually have those 10 bring somebody else next week. And so all of a sudden you go from 10 to 15, from 15 to 20, and so on down the line. Now, that's one route with a micro event. The second route would be to run social ads, maybe it's an email, or maybe it's just organic social, and invite 25 to 50 people who aren't in your current pipeline. These are people who aren't aware of your organization, of your mission, of your product, your service, and you're trying to captivate them right there in the moment, right? So you reach out to them and say, in exchange for a dinner, will you come and engage with us about our community, about our product, or about our service? One of the ways we've done that at FireSpring is say, hey, we're going to talk about lead generation. Let's have 25 individuals come where we're going to talk about lead generation. At the end of it, we might include an offer to become a potential client of ours. You could do the same thing. Host an event for 20, 25 people that puts the value and the engagement on the community level on them, right? Give them the value. And at the end of it, give them the offer to become a donor, to become a volunteer, right? Maybe to buy your product or try it as a free trial, whatever it is. And so I think the main point of this is really that events are coming back, but you don't have to necessarily go back to a full-scale gala with 750 people. You don't have to instantly make that expense if that's not something you're ready to do. But I would encourage you to look and say, hey, could we pull off 3, maybe 4 micro events for the rest of the year and then implement that into our 2022 strategy? Because if you can, I think you're going to see a lot of success. So your challenge for today is to ask yourself, how are events going to play a role in your marketing and your fundraising for the rest of 2021 and 2022? And right now, if you had the opportunity to capture 15 to 20 people, what audience would they be? What would the conversation be like? And what value would you give them? That'll do it for today's show. Have a great night.